Alrighty, folks, I am back in the good old US of A. I'm back from vacation, feeling rested, feeling pretty good. And this first video back from vacation has got to go out to the goddamn Democrats. Jeez, oh my God. We got to get our act together, folks. We got to get it together. This isn't going to work. Look, my entire adult life, I have been watching Democrats lose, and they get drubbed like they got drubbed by Ronald Reagan in the 1980s, and the lesson that they learned from that is we need to moderate our positions. We need to pull the party further to the right, pull the party further to the right. We still want the progressives to show up for us. We still want them to canvass. We still want the working parties, the Working People's Party and the Sunshine Movement. We still want all those institutions to come out and do the work for us. We just don't want them to have any say in the party. Look, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. The bottom line is for Democrats that we do not need two authoritarian parties in the country. We do not need an authoritarian party on the right and a conservative party on the left, and then leaving everybody else out in the rain because we want to be politically relevant, right? So it is exhausting to see Democratic establishment figures suggesting that that's what we need to do. Again, we've been doing this for 40 years, and the result is we have a party that can't even beat the Orange Dawn. Somebody as absurd as that, and the Democrats can't beat him. That is embarrassing. That's what the party has become after 40 years of moderation every time we lose an election. So here's the bottom line for the Democratic Party, and it's a lesson that the Democrats as a whole need to understand. The Democratic Party is a coalition of progressive groups and moderate groups. And we're going to have to figure something out. Moderates, the Democratic Party cannot win without the progressive votes. You're going to have to give progressives some kind of say in the party. I, as a progressive voter, am not voting for a conservative Democrat. I'm not even going to do it anymore to avoid what we're already in, because we're already in it. There's no point. Progressives, you're going to have to put your purity tests on hold because the Democratic Party can't win without moderate voters. We're going to have to come up with some solutions that we can run on that are actually meaningful to people that will get them to show up to vote. And no, we're not going to strip off some of those authoritarian voters to come and vote for Democrats. We need to focus on those voters who are sitting it out, who are staying home, who are uninspired by democratic, technocratic language and policies that they can't relate to and that are not meaningful to them. We have to figure out a way to reach those voters. Perfect example. Progressives would love to see the United States shift to a single-payer healthcare system. I personally would love to see that happen. That is a way of getting progressive voters, but it is not necessarily a way of getting moderate voters. But one of the things that we do know is that when we moderate that position, when we say, hey, let's have a single-payer system that is optional, that people can choose to join, or they can stay with their private insurers, that is a policy that gets over 90% approval among Democrats. That's something that people will show up for. And if we remember correctly, the last time a politician ran on that was called the public option. Obama ran on that in 2008 and won overwhelmingly. Now, granted, there were other factors involved, but that was a winning policy that was only defeated because of conservative Democrats like Joe Lieberman, right? We can win on these proposals. Public education and higher education, and funding for higher education, and of course we want to include trade schools and tech schools in this conversation. Let's publicly fund higher education. But a lot of moderate Democrats believe that people should be paying into their education. All right, so how about we come up with policies that make public education, both at the university and college level and at the trade and tech levels, more affordable, bigger subsidies. Here's an easy to understand policy. instead of the crippling student loans that keep piling on interest over the years as students try to get out from under, how about we offer student loans for both university colleges and tech and trade schools with 0% interest? This would save people millions of dollars. People are still investing in their own educations. They're still paying into their own educations. That's going to attract the moderate voter. But it is a huge benefit for working class people that's going to attract progressive voters. These are compromises that we can make. These are policies that are easy to communicate and easy to represent that people will show up for. Inequality. It's really easy for us. I mean, one of our most successful politicians and most trusted politicians is Bernie Sanders. Now, he's getting a little bit long on the tooth. He's still out there. Keep going, Bernie. He has been the most popular Democratic, and he's an independent, but he was the most popular among Democrats of just about any other politician. Why? Because he keeps talking about the millionaires and the billionaires and the unfair advantages that they have, and that maybe we should start thinking about pulling back some of those advantages through progressive taxation, through busting up the big monopolies and antitrust suits, by empowering labor and empowering unions. You know, these are things that have valiance among progressive liberal Democrats and among moderate Democrats, and are unifying ideas. Clean energy. Moderates and progressives believe in clean energy and believe in transitions, although moderates are happier to see more private investment and encouraging more private investment in green technology, whereas progressives are happier with more of a government-centered. We can compromise on these issues and create policies that will attract everybody, but we need to be willing to talk to all of the caucuses within our larger party in order to make that happen.